So let's go ahead and start tackling in about the five secrets. Now, folks, there's more than just five secrets to what we do here at American Business Systems. That's why we want you to go through our live training class, because there are 10 modules that we're going to go through. Each of those 10 modules in our training takes you about 90 minutes to get through. Plus, between your trainings, there's a lot of exercises that your trainer will have you go through. So about middle ways part of that training class, you're already going to be getting close to whenever you're going to graduate from that class, but also you're going to be in the process of knowing what you're going to need to do to make yourself successful and already getting hopefully some clients lined up ready for you to talk with. But the first thing we want you to understand is, and one of the first things in that document is, when we all have heard this, that people will do business with people that they know, like, and trust. Okay. So how do you build trust? One thing that I think we all know here is trust takes time to build, but you can see that it can be easily lost with one thing that somebody does. So in the process of what we're doing here at American Business Systems and why we do these webinars is to help build trust with us. We want to make sure that you know, obviously, that we've been around for over 30 years. That helps in supplying trust. But what we're going to do is help educate you to build trust. So people, like we've already said, people will do business with people that they know, like, and trust. And what ABS is going to do is set you up for success so that you will end up knowing more about medical billing and the revenue cycle management than most doctors do. And whenever I say that, I'm not just saying, hey, we're going to be better than any other doctors. Doctors go to school to take care of people. Oh, they don't get a lot of time in uh, business. Okay, they have help. They have people help them get their business started, to get their practice going, to review contracts. Obviously, through that process, they're going to learn business, but it's been said by not just us, but by doctors themselves, that physicians are not the best business people out there. That's why we are going to help set you up to be ahead of the game whenever it comes to what it's going to take to learn as much as you can. And so one of the things that it starts off with, and I'm going to jump ahead a little bit so that we don't lose track of time here. But one of the things that we offer here for you is the online onboarding and the training class that we have already mentioned. There's 10 courses that you're going to go through, and each of those are 90 minutes long. And as I said, the trainer that's going to teach you and train you, just like what we're doing over this Zoom webinar, except during that part, you're going to have time to open up, your microphone will be on, your video will be on, and you'll have time to be able to do that. And you'll be able to ask any questions during your training course. But what we want to do is customize this training so much so that you see the individuality of what we make this for you. Some people are going to come into the class maybe with a little bit of healthcare background. Some of you may come in with some marketing background. Some are going to be coming into us with a business background. Some of you may not come with a whole lot of information or a lot of background. So what we want to do is make sure that we take our time and get you trained to what you need to be and go through each and every step. Now, today is not the day that I go through the 10 modules. I think what I'm going to probably do next week is kind of utilize this webinar to kind of get you set up to go what those 10 modules are and what they look like. So what I'm going to do next Wednesday, if you'll pay attention, that we'll go through what the training looks like, because we want to make sure that you're successful there. The other thing that we'll do here to support you is to pull you into the already business owners webinars and their training classes that we have for them. These are ongoing training classes that we have for our current business owners. Through here, there's an open dialogue that's going through. Sometimes it's led by our head of support. Sometimes Adam's doing it. Sometimes it's other vendors that we have come on board and help us with some certain things there. These classes right here are going to help you continually keep you in the loop. So not only are you going to get the original, the initial training, but throughout the month, we have these other training courses. And if you can't make one of those, we do record those. So we kind of help you keep going there. Now, I've already mentioned this next person up here, and this is Dr. Vicki Rackner. Now, I haven't done an interview with Dr. Rackner in a while, so I may be getting that lined up as well. But she is the author of the book called The Myth of the Rich Doctor. Now, why can she write such a book? Because she was a former general surgeon. She went through the same struggles as most doctors have gone through. And now she's spending her years in helping other doctors understand the business side of medicine. But one of the things I wanted to show you here, and you may or may not be able to see it very clearly, but next to the book, The Myth of the Rich Doctor, is something that looks like a letter. And that letter is there to help you get introduced to doctors. So let's say that you, during your training class with your trainer here at American Business Systems, you discover a doctor that you might want to target. At this phase, what we're going to try to do is help you get yourself in front of that doctor. And how do we do that? One of the ways that we'll do that is have Dr. Vicki send a letter of introduction to that doctor on your behalf, where the letter will read as, you know, hi, I'm Dr. Vicki Rackner. I'm the author of the book of The Myth of the Rich Doctor. But I understand that not all doctors are doing well with their collections. And I've got somebody that I'd like to introduce to you. And it may be you. And along with that, you'll be able to give them a book. Maybe it's the 9 ways doctors let money slip through their fingers, or another book that I'm going to share with you here in just a moment. But again, you see, this is the third thing that we're trying to do to get you elevated, to have you get you quickly out there of knowing about the medical billing business. I've had a lot of questions throughout the years that I've been with ABS, especially with people that are coming into the business, say, can I do any pre-marketing before I kind of jump in and I sign that agreement and I get my investment in? I would recommend that you do not try to do any marketing out there, because if you do and you get introduced to a doctor and you tell the doctor, hey, I'm thinking about getting into medical billing, first of all, you've already kind of chopped your knees out from underneath you here. You're not going to be able to have what you need to have a full plantation of a good foundation moving forward. So we want to make sure that you've got a good opportunity to know all of the everything to be said and have the support that you're going to need. Plus, you're going to have access to our private ABS. It's called ABS LSS. That stands for the Licensee Support Site. We used to call all of our business owners licensees. We've recently changed it, but we've never changed it for the website for this. And you'll have access to other upcoming news, other news articles that are coming out, especially if it's having to do anything with HIPAA compliance issues, because those things come out all the time. You're going to find news on that particular private site there, but also all of the resources that you're going to need, whether they're marketing or information you need to get to the doctors. It's just a continued support mechanism for yourself. Remember, you're going to go through 10 modules of the training. It's over here in the licensee support site that you're going to be able to go back and watch some of those, not of yours, some that we've already recorded if you need a little refresher course. And then lastly, one of the ways that we're going to support you is obviously being a part of one of the largest group of organizations of independent medical billers, and that is MIRMA. MIRMA is the Medical Revenue Management Association of America, which they will be the ones, again, certifying you as that certified medical revenue manager. Now, you heard me say not a certified biller. Okay, a certified biller, you can go to school to go become a certified biller, but what we're trying to help you become is what's called a certified medical revenue manager, which whenever you see all of those white boxes that you've seen us have displayed in our marketing material that has iClaim and EMRX with the virtual part of everything that we have there, and Quick Collect and all these other things that we have here. You can see here that we've got these opportunities, all these different opportunities for you there. So, all right, so those are the first 5 things that we're going to try to get you started to become this next thing, which is become the expert. So going through all of your training, your support training, your licensee support system that you have here with us, becoming a certified medical revenue manager. We get you set up to become the expert out there in the field. So now that you've got all of your training, and now we're starting to build on your education base. This is where ABS is going to start positioning you again as the endorsed expert through marketing materials. As you'll see here, there's some team support that we're going to have that you're going to see behind you. And a lot of people want to find out, what about support, true people support? Folks, all of our support is based here out of the United States. You're going to have one-on-one opportunities. There's an 800 number that you can call. The option is number 2. I already know it, that you would be able to call them and get some help. You may not get a person automatically or immediately. Sometimes you do. Depends on who else is needing some support. But you're going to be able to have and talk to somebody, a live person here at American Business Systems for your support. Now, let me kind of go back. I'm going to pull one of the little parts out of number 1, and again, kind of finish it up here in the second part as being set up as the expert, because that's what Dr. Rackner is going to position you as right off the very bat. She's going to help set the stage by, again, introducing you to a doctor group or a doctor individual that you may be targeting, that you would have already had some contact with, or you got a warm lead from somebody, and you want to get that introduction into that doctor. So no better way than to have another physician who listens to other physicians introduce you and your company to get you kind of set up. And this is where I want to just take a little rabbit trail here real quickly. And a lot of people ask us here at ABS when you first get started, do I get a list of doctors who are looking for billers? Let's talk about that real quickly. Imagine that you're just getting started here and you're handed this list of potential doctors that ABS has given to you, but they're also giving it to other ABS opportunity people. And it's because we bought that list from some other group out there. And believe me, there are other people who have already tried to touch base with those doctors already. So imagine us trying to get a list that it's like anything else on the internet. People will sell you lists if you want to pay for them. Okay, some of those lists can be good. Some of them I wouldn't worry about anything about any of those, because I know that there's some other companies that will say, hey, if you join us, we're going to give you a potential lead list, so to say. And what we have found out, that lead list is nothing more than a dead end, because by the time we get the leads, we get them to you, you're trying to chase down some of those doctors that have put in their name and number in there. That lead is pretty much already gone. Now, if you do get one and they've kind of said, yeah, I think I've been looking around, by the time that you get it, you better really know what you're talking about there. Or sometimes I'll have to say this, some of those doctors you may never want to do billing for, because they may be very, very, very difficult to work with. So we've got a completely different system, completely different method of building a list, but that's really one-on-one that we work with you on. And what better way than to have a warm lead come in, and then Dr. Vicki Rackner writing another letter on top of that suggesting you. And then that way you get the call, instead of you're trying to call and chase all these little potential leads out there. So that's one of the ways that, because really what we want to try to do, as we're saying here, is getting you set up for being the expert. Again, I look at those leads, and I know I'm kind of harping on these, but they just seem like, if you're chasing down leads, it just really shows a part of desperateness that you don't need to be there. We're going to show you, to get you set up that you're a part of a very large organization already. And we're just looking for other doctors who want to be successful along with you. We're going to try to help pull all that together and get you in front of those doctors who are actually might really do need some help. So that's it on the list. We're going to get started off with an introduction letter from Dr. Vicki Rackner. Then we've arranged people here that are experts already. So let's say that you do come across a lead and you need some help with some discussions with a doctor. Okay, so you're brand new, you just got out of your training class, you finished your 10 weeks of training. but man, you finally got a lead and you don't want to blow it. Well, then get back with support, because what we're going to do, we can couple you up with somebody that's already been there and maybe already has a doctor that's in that field. No better than to have somebody at your side to kind of, hey, let's do this meeting together with this doctor. So you may have set up a call, you may have set up a Zoom meeting with a particular doctor or their office staff, and you just need a little help with that. That's part of what we're getting you here. So far, you can see that ABS is supporting you all along your support. So I kind of want to couple that with people ask the question, so what do I get for my investment? What I'm sharing with you today is what you're getting. Now, up until now, until I change over the slide, everything that you've seen so far is really interactive between American Business Systems, what we're going to teach you on the front end, what we're going to help you through with support, how we're going to have Dr. Vicki Rackner kind of help you be engaged. And not only that, but these folks who are already business owners, who have already been there, can help you. You can see this is a very tangible help system that I don't think you're going to find really with anybody else. So that's why we're really happy that you're here and listening in, either live or with a recording, that you can really get the fullness of what you're getting here with ABS as you get your business started. It is only now that I'm going to shift gears a little bit and start talking about some of the marketing material, or what we call all the marketing pieces that we have out here. So you're going to get over 2,000 customized 8.5 by 11 flyers that are going to have your contact information in it and on it. And that way, whenever you're passing this information out, and you don't have to give all 10 of these out or 12 of these out at one time to a doctor. You want to be able to be very careful about what you give. Think of this as, I'm going to kind of drip market some of this to this doctor. And maybe you may do a little drip marketing with some of these flyers. You may end up going, and I'm going to share a little bit some of the things that you can do with these flyers. But we also have some drip marketing that has the same information, a little bit more condensed way of saying things, and a postcard and a true card that gets mailed to a doctor. And we'll show you how to do all that. That's all involved in your training. But you can see we're putting a lot of different hooks out there in this mass ocean of doctors to help you get your first client. Because we know that once you get your first client on the line and you got them, as a client then that second doctor comes a little bit quicker, and you'll find out much easier. So we're here to help bait all your hooks, so to say, and get them out there in the water, and we're helping you reel those in, as you'll see here. Because again, being a part of the nation's largest group of independent medical billers, independent certified medical revenue managers in the United States, I think we kind of know a little bit of what's going on there. All right, so those are number two. The third thing we're going to show you, or the third of one of the fifth secrets here, is you got to stand out from the crowd. And while everybody else is going that way, you need to be showing, like this little graphic shows, that you're going this way. You're going in a completely different area, because everybody's going after maybe all this list over here, but you have changed how you're doing things, because you're going to do it a little bit differently. You're going to do it the American Business Systems way, because it's a system for a reason. We've got the system down. We've helped literally thousands of new business owners get started in medical billing. And one of those areas is the platforms that we have. And I say platforms now. We used to have just one, but now we've got three. And the reason we have three, and they're all white labeled iClaim and EMRX, so don't let that confuse you. But we've got three different systems now that will help you, and our support team is going to help you try to figure out which one fits these different doctors. So instead of trying to fit all into one, we now have three. And why don't you get back with your sales rep here, and they'll kind of dive in a little bit more deeper with you than I'll be able to go through it on this webinar. But you need to have something that is so unique out there, is so different than what the doctors are currently utilizing. Now, obviously, again, a lot of people might ask, well, Eric, what if the doctors didn't want to change their current system? again, your sales rep will kind of help coach you through that. But I can just tell you real quickly, there might be some times where here in the very beginning, you might want to end up using the doctor's current system and then get them shifted over to one of the other platforms, because the number is going to save them money. You're going to get their claims expedited a lot quicker with less claims than being rejected with our systems that we already have that comes part of your program here. The second thing is all the different options that we have here, okay? So you've got, the virtual care, the Audit Guard, the iClaim, the AutoCard. That's the drip marketing campaign, that part of it that, again, your sales rep can kind of help guide you through that. But we have not just these. We've got several other ancillary services that are so important to the doctors now. And so we're not just whenever you walk out of your training through that 10 weeks of training, you're going to have so much in your toolbox that when you finally do start talking to some doctors, you're going to go, you know what, doctor, I think I've got that taken care of for you. Let's maybe set up a call that I can share that with you. Plus, again, I've already shared a little bit about this already, but not only do you have all the physical marketing materials, whether it's the 8.5 by 11s or the postcards that you're going to get, that again, those are customizable. That's going to have your name and your logo and all of your contact on it, but a customized website. Folks, if there is one thing that probably makes more business owners and new entrepreneurs stumble, believe me, there are probably people on here who have had some businesses already. You got to get some things going. The most difficult thing to get going is a website. Just sit down and go, you know what, I'm going to make a great website, until you get that thing started, and then you're trying to put everything together and you don't know what to say about it. We have all of the words that have already been wordsmithed all together. We have all the copy for you. Only thing, again, we're going to need is your name of your company, the contact information, and how people can get back with you through an email on your customized website. Remember, what we're trying to do is get you stand out from the crowd. We don't want you struggling about having to make sure that you got all your marketing material put together or a website put together. We don't want you struggling with any of that. We've already got all that taken care of for you. Now, once you've got everything ready, now you need a way to harness your referrals. This is where we're pulling everything together. So what you're going to need is some way to get these attracted. Now, referrals is the number one way of getting your first client. Okay, so you heard me correctly. Referrals is the number one best way to get your first client. And how do we get those referrals? That's where we're going to start off with. Some of you may have already know this. You've already been on some of the webinars, but you do know that we love showing you how to partner or have what's called a power partner with people who are already in the healthcare industry, people who are already, quote unquote, selling to the doctors. We're going to show you where to find these groups of people here. Some of them you're going to be able to find through LinkedIn, but I'm going to tell you, folks, one of the best ways that I've ever found anybody to work with is at a real place where I can meet people, whether that is some type of business luncheon or a business breakfast or some type of business after hours function. It could be at a trade show. It could be even at your local chamber of commerce. It could be any of those places. And when you start hooking up with people who are already in the industry, and it doesn't have to be people that are necessarily selling to doctors. What if you're running across someone that's in the healthcare industry, and let's say that they're in home health? Do you not think that they're working with doctors already, or they've got some type of relationship built with doctors already? Again, it could just be that doctor's part of the local chamber of commerce there. You can run into people that have already had connections with doctors, whether it's real estate people, whether it could be attorneys or CPAs. Anybody that's doing business out there is probably doing business with a doctor. So what you need to do is find those people. We're going to show you how to do that during your training class. Now, again, if you'll tune in next Wednesday and you've never seen any of these, I'm going to take you through a pretty in-depth way of what you're going to learn during that training class. And I'm going to show you how you can find some of those partners, those referral partners. The other thing is that you can see here is that we're going to show you again how networking or referrals is the number one to help you get your first client. Now, again, this is actually a snapshot of from our licensee support site. That's a recording that if you just need some refreshers, you can be able to go out and grab that. And then another way, we're going to show you how to use social media. Folks, social media is here. We know it through Facebook. We know it through LinkedIn. There are some other types of ways that you can get your message out. We're going to show you how to do that properly and get connected with others that are out there. I've been on LinkedIn now for, gosh, about almost 10 years now. I still get people referring people to me. They find me on LinkedIn. Sometimes I get a message here and there where people want to talk with me. I don't mind taking their phone calls because you know what? What I might find out is that they know somebody that they might be able to put me in contact with. So you never know what you can find out through LinkedIn or Facebook or whatever else is out there in the business world whenever it comes to networking. Now, as we kind of pull our wrap up here on the 5 secrets, is now that you've kind of got a group of doctors that you potentially might want to go after. How are you going to cultivate and nurture those contacts to where they move from a contact to becoming a client? And so that's what we're going to try to help you with of establishing that. And again, it's through all the parts of what we've already gone through. And again, you're going to learn in your training class. One of the things that you'll learn in your training class, I don't have any slides on it today, but how to use some type of contact system. Everybody's got these contact systems out on the internet now where you can put in people's names and you can try to figure out when the last time you touched base with them, or it might be a little trigger for you to go, oh yeah, I need to reach back out to that person. It's all of this contact management systems that are out there that are really, really good. I mean, things have improved so much on the internet that can help you. But again, once you've got that, again, just start that drip marketing campaign with those postcards. It's a little picture of those here now where you can just start dripping this out to the doctor. So now that you've got you got referrals that have come in, you've got some warm market leads that have come in because of some of the things that we've taught you during the training. And now you're going to start drip marketing these. Now I'm going to tell you a quick story before I wrap up here in just a second. The first way I got my first client being a medical billing company was through this part of it. That's why I like it so much, because after doing everything that we've shared with you, after having a few meetings with a few doctors, it was through the drip marketing campaign that brought me in our first client. And so this really does work. It's a system that I've followed. It's a system that literally thousands have followed to get their clients. And so, folks, this is a well worth it of getting this information to you. But as we kind of start wrapping up here, I wanted you to see, did you notice what the secrets all have in common? And if you'll notice here, all the secrets, the biggest thing that all these secrets have in common is that American Business System is here for you all along the way. So whether it's support, whether it's your initial training, whether it's somebody like a Dr. Vicki Rackner, or let's say all the marketing material that goes out, didn't even get a chance to talk with you about the new Thriving Medical Business through the New Thriving Medical Practice book that you would be the author of the forward to the book. Again, if you'll tune back with me next Wednesday, I'll share a little bit more about that with you on that particular webinar. And if you already watched another webinar, you probably already know about that. But really, the common theme is that we're here. A lot of businesses are out there just to get your money, get you through some training, and then they just pat you on the back and they just wish you the very best. And a lot of business opportunities are like that. There are a lot of franchises that are like that because once they've got your money, they're satisfied. So let me kind of share a little bit of how ABS is on the hook and kind of wanted to be part of your whole system here. And that is with all of the different ancillary services that we have, once you start doing business with one of those businesses out there. Let's just take one of the iClaim EMRX platforms. It is at that point that since we've helped bring business to that particular platform, that ABS gets pennies on the back end from that. So people ask, well, how does ABS continue to keep helping me support my business and support me in all these different ways? And that is really because ABS has the opportunity to make a little bit on the back end, because obviously we couldn't survive on just keep selling a license or this business opportunity over and over and over again without having something on the back end to keep that support mechanism coming through. So now you can see we really do have a vested interest in your success. So as I kind of wrap up here, know that ABS has a true vested interest in your success, because once you get a client, then we're getting pieces of that on the back end. Now, that doesn't come from you as a franchise fee. Some people have already asked, how do the franchisees to pay for the software subscription fees monthly? I'm going to kind of explain all of that. That doesn't come from you. That actually comes from the doctor. And once those subscriptions are being made through there, that's where ABS gets a little piece of it on the back. And we're talking pennies. We're not talking thousands of dollars. We're talking a little bit at a time per client that gets on there. So the more clients that we help our clients get, the better off ABS gets supported in the long run. So plus you're going to have that lifetime of support and everything that you're going to need. So make sure that I share this one more time. I don't know if that's going to make it any bigger there. So if you, let me go back over to the Q&A box right there. James, does that make it a little bit bigger there for you? I think I was kind of just showing everything at one time there on my particular screen here. So how would you address how long you would be in business when you just get started out there? Okay, so one of the things that you can certainly talk about is how long this organization, Myrma, let me pull that back up over to here. And I'll start with that right there. So ABS and Myrma have been around for over 30 years. So one of the ways that we're going to teach you and show you how to be able to take care of that is you can certainly tell your group of doctors to say, look, if they ask, okay, and that's really if they ask, and that's why we want you to get through the training before you think that you need to go out there and start marketing, because your trainer is going to help guide you through that as well. So with Myrma, though, being a part of Myrma, you can say, I'm a part of a larger organization called Medical Revenue Management Association of America. That organization, through all of its members that are through there, they literally have done hundreds of thousands of claims. It's been around for more than 30 years, and we are the largest independent group of medical billers in the United States. So and then at that point, you can say, and I'm just a local division of this group called Myrma. So that's if people ask that particular question, James. It's more along the lines where people are, most doctors, once you start marketing and you engage these doctors with the practice analysis that we're going to help coach you and teach you how to present to the doctors. And then when you get through all of that, that's part of this education to build that trust there. That's part of what we're going to help you through that. Then, as I mentioned earlier, we're going to show you how this particular book here, The New Thriving Medical Practice, and the foreword that goes with that book, because it's going to be you who is actually on the front cover of that book. And since they'll read the book, I have rarely ever heard a doctor ask somebody, hey, how long have you been in business? The way that we set you up and the way that we kind of present you out there by being trained by Myrma, being trained and getting through all the training that you're going to go through, you get your book and you start to present the material. You start doing your drip marketing campaigns. Rarely, James, have I ever heard any feedback from somebody, especially somebody brand new, where the doctor's asking, well, can you tell me how long you've been in business? And if they do ask, we have the right answer to help kind of guide you along with that. So hopefully that helped. And James says that's bigger and sounds awesome. Okay. All right. Any other questions that we have for anybody this afternoon? Again, I think one of the first questions that came in that I'll kind of go back to here, and that was the question about franchises again. So let me kind of pull this slide back up here for our Q&A part of it. Someone asked early on, how do the franchisees pay for the software for the subscription fees monthly? Okay, so I do want to address that. I kind of shared with that towards the end of the webinar, but I didn't want to kind of rush it through there to try to finish up the entire webinar. So let's kind of take our time here and go through that. So number one, again, you're not a franchisee. You're going to be your own independent medical billing company. And let's just say that you didn't have ABS at all. Okay, let's just take American Business System out of the complete equation. Let's just say that you feel like you wanted to go start up, and again, I'm not sure who you are, but let's just say that you wanted to go out there, but you needed to find a medical billing platform yourself. So you go out there and you go find something. You're going to have to find a way to either you pay for that or have the doctors pay for that. Our training system will show you how we're going to have, when you do your pricing and you start doing the claims for the doctor, there's a couple of ways you can do this. You can build it separately in your invoice and say, okay, doctor, I know that you're paying X amount of dollars for your current system per month. If I put you on this system, this is what it's going to cost you. And so instead of you paying for your current medical billing platform, you're going to be paying for hours, and you can have that invoice there separately, okay? Because that's what they're probably already doing right now. The better way is that when you price yourself out for your percentages of what you're going to charge the doctor for, okay? You may want to build that cost in that percentage. So let's say when you run all of your numbers and you work with our support team, the support team says, you know what do you think that you might want to charge the doctor? And you may say, well, I might charge him 6%. Our support team may come back and say, let's charge him 7%, because that'll help you include the cost of one of the platforms. And so you absorb that into the percentage, okay? So then you're paying for it, but you're getting it out of the percentage of what you're charging the doctor for the reimbursed claims. That's the way I've always done it. And that way, whenever I'm making my presentation to the doctor, I would tell the doctor, hey, this is what I'm going to charge you for your billing, but it also includes all of your costs for the iClaim and EMRX platform. And then they go, okay, well, that sounds like a great deal. So that's why a lot of our business owners currently are charging anywhere from 7 to 7.5%, maybe even up to 8 and 8.5%. Okay. That's why we charge a little bit higher, because we're including the cost of the use of the software inside of that. Now, again, none of that comes to American Business Systems. So again, that's why I said take the equation out, the ABS out of this. Because again, if you were just starting your own medical billing company and you were trying to go out there and search, which medical billing platform works the best out there, there's still a subscription to it. That's why we can truly say we're not a franchise, and we're not trying to resell you our already home crafted medical billing platform. So it keeps it completely independent. It keeps it very clean out there. And so, and we've done all the research and work for you on the front end of that. So hopefully that kind of helped answer your question there. Are there any other questions before we kind of wrap it up here? We are up at the top of the hour here. Again, let me kind of put this number up over here as we kind of start wrapping some things up. If you don't already know who your sales rep is, give us a call here at 866-565-8413. That's 866-565-8413. Give us a shout out here at info@AB Systems if you have any particular questions. We'll be more than happy to kind of help you out there. One last call. Any more questions from anybody? From Alexandria to Billy, David, Brenda, Joe, Joseph, Peggy, Roger, Stanley, Vin, Sherry, Rochelle. Anybody else out there? Yeah, anybody have any other questions? So remember, again, go back to our YouTube channel. You can go to our YouTube channel to see our other webinars that we've done. Again, if you haven't seen the ones that we did most recently, which was with some of our interviews that we did with some brand new business owners, you're going to go over there and watch those. Go grab those. Adam did one last week. Adam and I did one a week before that. And I did one with Adam on the artificial intelligence, whether that's going to take over medical billing. You're going to want to go back and watch that one. I'm going to try to get Dr. Vicki Rackner lined up for an interview with her. And then, like I said, next Wednesday, I'll probably be doing a webinar, I promise you, with slides on the ones for what we talk about in the training class. So if that interests you, you can get back with your sales rep here and then get signed up for being on our Wednesday webinar for next week. Folks, it's been a pleasure having you on this afternoon. Where it talks about learn the 5 secrets for medical billing success. Hopefully you've enjoyed it this afternoon, and we look forward to having you on our next webinar next Wednesday. Y'all have a good afternoon, everybody, and a great weekend ahead of you. And if there's no questions, there we go. Great. Thanks, James. I appreciate you saying that. All righty, everybody. Y'all have a great afternoon, and we'll see you next Wednesday. Good night, everybody.